Well, hello all. I'm in my kitchen today because I thought I'd talk a little bit about starters and sourdough bread. I like to take my starter out about a day before, sometimes just the night before, and feed it. And I try to feed it twice before I start bread, and that usually is plenty enough feeding for it to be nice and bubbly. Like this just came out of my fridge and look at that. It's already like bubbly. You can see some of that texture and bubbles in there. Oh my goodness. I could probably feed this and start something 4 hours from now. So I like to feed it probably not too much more than 4 hours before I make bread. In fact, I have done some crazy stuff where I actually take my starter out the night before, or I feed it at like 3 a.m. so that it's ready by like 7 or 8 a.m. so I can start making my bread then. But I don't really like doing that very often. So usually I will just feed it whenever I get up in the morning, and then I'll start making bread around, say I feed it like 8, 4 hours later, I'll make it around noon, sometimes 1, and that works great. And that's kind of my typical routine I do. And then I have my bread formed, I do the stretch and folds, and then at night I just separate it, put it in the bread baskets or bannetons. I put it in the bannetons and just let it rise until the next day, and then I'll bake it then or within the next day or two. I can make 4 loaves. I've even made like 8 loaves before because now I can do 2 at a time in my oven. And then I have like, it'll take me all day to just kind of bake bread because it takes about, 20 minutes with the lid on, 20 minutes with the lid off, and I take at least half an hour to 45 minutes to preheat my oven. So the other thing I've done, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about today and show some videos of, which isn't super fancy. It's not my prettiest sourdough designs because I will do, but I like to do same day bread making. So like I said, sometimes I'll do that really early morning feeding, but I did try this the other day because my starter has been doing pretty good. And I left the kitchen, it was a little bit colder, and I actually just started it late the night before. Got up in the morning, started my bread, and it worked just fine. So I probably started around 8 in the morning, and by 5, 6 that evening, I was ready to bake. So that's what I'm gonna show you in the video in a little bit. So I've tried several different methods, and I think the point I'm trying to make in this video is to just show that you can do it different ways. Sourdough is actually pretty forgiving, and you can figure out what works for you, whether it's feeding it the night before, taking it a couple days out early, trying to do really early mornings, doing it whenever you're ready, and then just putting the bread in the fridge. By the time it's ready, it's done, it's halfway there to rising, and you usually give about 8 hours. They say 8 to 12. I usually find 12 is a little much, but somewhere around that 8-hour time frame. And my house is a little cooler, so that works for us. And then I'll either get it in the fridge or I'll go ahead and bake it. And I actually love it when we do same day baking. It doesn't come out as pretty because I don't even put the flour or anything, but it comes out amazing and works just great. You can see here I'm scoring the bread. It's nothing fancy, there's no flour on top. This is because I left it on the counter. I'm doing a same day scoring, but it still comes out pretty amazing.